Hey, I'm Dave Stelk, and this is your 2012 Pacific Coast Producers Crop Report. So if you want to talk about weather, and if you want to talk about pears, you're going to want to talk to Jerry Cordy. Jerry, how you doing?
Doing great, Dave, thank you.
How's the weather been this year? I understand you really didn't have a spring.
It was non-existent. We had no spring, Dave. We went from a cold, wet, rainy wintertime into summertime. We went from 60-degree weather to 90-degree weather.
How did that affect the pear?
Fortunately, not too negatively. The pear likes that warm weather, and so once we hit those warmer temperatures, the pears grew wonderfully.
But the persnickety weather did cause the fruit to grow at non-uniform sizes. The odd weather we had caused some pears to grow at different rates.
Well, they're growing at the same rate, Dave, but they, if you will, they were born at a different time. So
Right.
The big one is the older brother. He's going to be ready for harvest before the younger one.
And the bigger one has resentment toward the younger one.
He may.
Yeah, that's usually the case. I mean, I'm not speaking from experience.
Specifically in pears, hail is a big problem, and we did have some hail events.
You really shouldn't cuss on camera. Oh, hail!
Hail,
I'm
yes.
sorry, Jerry said hail. I'm sorry. What does hail do to a pear?
When the hail impacts the fruit, it leaves a scar,
And that's bad.
and that's bad. You don't want a brown spot on your fruit when you eat it.
Well, how can PCP overcome the spots, the indentations, the imperfections?
Well, because we process these pears, Dave, we peel them and cut them and dice them for the different products we make, we're able to sort out those brown spots and still make a nice, clean product.
Be honest, were you sweating it just a little bit?
No question, we were definitely sweating it.
A little concerned.
A little concerned about setting a crop. When you look out and the thermometer says 60 degrees and you're looking at clouds and rain, you worry.
But you made it through.
We've made it through.
You okay?
We're okay. We've had better, but
let's
we're
suck
okay.
it out.
We're gonna live. We're gonna
okay.
We're gonna pick a crop.
It's gonna be fine. Thanks, Jerry. You really know your pears?
You're welcome, Dave. Thanks for coming to Paradise.
Speaking of paradise, the weather wasn't so great. We got through it. But what about the other PCP crops? So we're going to continue our crop and weather report with Tammy. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, Dave.
Tammy Gross is with PCP. Tammy, weather, tomatoes, what's going on?
Well, we're standing here in a pear orchard, which
Right.
was planted over 100 years ago.
Okay.
Tomatoes are planted once a year, one crop a year, that's all we get.
A new plant every year.
A new plant every year.
Why is that a problem?
Well, it's a problem because weather sometimes affects the way that we plant. And this year we had a really, really wet spring, so our planting was delayed a little bit. And if we get too many tomatoes planted at once, then they get bunched together and the plant can't receive all of them at once.
I hear you call that bunching problems.
Yeah, bunching
Yeah.
problems.
I have bunching problems.
Do you?
So Tammy, the weather and apricots, how are we doing there?
The weather this year was ideal for apricots.
Good news there.
It's great news. Being that Pacific Coast Producers is the largest apricot canner in the world.
Wow.
Apricots are the first fruit that we harvest, and they're harvested about 3 weeks out.
You know, that makes sense. You know, apricot comes from the Latin phrase praecocuum, meaning early ripening peach. I bore you. This happens at cocktail parties all the time. I just end up boring the girls. Okay, Tammy, let's talk about the weather and PCP peaches.
The weather for peaches this year wasn't as ideal as we would have hoped.
No?
No, we're coming off of a short crop from last year, and the wet spring affected our crop potential just slightly this year.
So we're still going to have nice, ripened, juicy PCP peaches, just fewer of them?
Right.
That's farming. That's the way it goes, folks. So that's your 2012 PCP crop and weather report. Here's the deal. We had a wacky winter, no spring, straight into summer, but we're going to recover. Everything's going to be okay. Promise me everything's going to be okay.
It will be okay.
Come here, hold my hand here.
Okay.
Everything's going to be okay, right?
Yes.
What the hail?